everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Welcome, welcome everyone to Dr. Carolyn Dean Live here on Dream Vision 7 Radio. I'm Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty, and I'll be with you for the next 2 hours, along with the absolutely delicious and delightful and very, very wonderfully intelligent Dr. Carolyn Dean, who's here to thrill you with the knowledge that you need in order to really harvest and hold the life force, the vitality, the well-being that is inherently yours. It's your divine right. And she knows how to maximize it, how to cultivate it through nutrition, through movement, through nutrients that she's designed to help bring that forward in you, through good information. And she is going to share that with you this evening. Now, for those who are tuning in for the first time, we say welcome, welcome. For those who are part of our regular audience and have been for many years, we say welcome back. And what we want to say to everyone without fail or exception, and those who are listening to the archives, and even those who may be listening years from now, there is one thing that is non-negotiable in this world, and that is your health. You've got to have it to be here, because if you don't have it, you're probably not going to be here long. And we know today, in this amazing environment that we're in, of all these challenges, this incredible time of transformation, of upheaval, of social awareness, people becoming much more acutely aware of their health, they're also realizing, gosh, I have to take care of my own health. I can't rely on the government. I can't rely on my doctor. Shoot, they closed down my hospital, whatever the situation is. And people are stepping up to the plate. And I'm so glad that the plate that you're stepping up to is got Dr. Carolyn Dean standing there as the pitcher at the mound, ready to toss that ball to you and give you an opportunity to hit that home run with your health, because that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, before I bring her on, I just want you to know that Dr. Dean is an MD. She's a naturopath. She is an herbalist. She's an acupuncturist. She's a certified nutritionist. I don't think there is a modality in the experience of the natural medical world that she has not mastered. She understands the emotional conflict of disease and the basis of that. She understands homeopathy and how to use that. She understands alignment, physical structure, function, and how to incorporate that. She understands the ecosystem of the earth and how to work cooperatively with all the elements, including the wind and the sun and the moon and the stars and all those aspects that are part of Chinese medicine. I'm telling you, this gal's toolkit is so big, we can barely even fit it onto this show. But she's here to bring her toolkit, to sit down with you, to unpack it, to open up her box of goodies, and to share with you the rich treasury of her wisdom, not only through her conversation on the radio show, but also in talking with her one-on-one today through our phone lines. So let me make sure that I also tell you, as much as we're going to chat, she's not going to give medical advice. And it's fascinating how she does it, but she's been doing it for many years. It's not a good idea to give medical advice over the radio. And besides, you wouldn't want to take it. You need to check these things with your own doctor, but she will tell you what she would do if it were her in your shoes. And she's been in your shoes many times. That's how she learned all this good stuff. So we're happy to bring her on today and to usher her in, as she so loves to be ushered in by the sound of our enthusiastic young people joining the show. Welcome, Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Yay, kids. The kids are back. Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate you getting the kids all rounded up again. And I appreciate the introduction, one of hundreds you've done. Bob keeps saying that he wants to string them all into one long production, but I don't know if he'll have to hire someone to do it, I'm sure. But thank you, and we'll start with the announcements. Number one is we have a subscription service now, which apparently means you can click on it and get a monthly drop of your product. So I wanted to ask Jenny, how is that going? What are people saying about it?
Yeah, it's really going great. It's just so convenient because our products are geared toward daily dosing, and we do ask people to be consistent with their use so that they can really experience optimal benefits. So people are really enjoying the opportunity to control that they can just set the dial and kind of forget it and just trust it's going to show up. It's been very good, very good. Thank you.
Wonderful. And then we want you to keep referring your practitioners so that we can send them our practitioner kit so that they can become involved and bring into their practice the handful of supplements that we know make a difference. And that's going along very nicely as well. We want you to use referral candy, which apparently with every order you get an email saying that you have a 15% discount if you refer a friend. And that friend also gets a 15% discount. Get your blood testing done at our website, rnareset.com. You can click on our research project, and that shows you how you can sign up to get a home blood test kit that actually ends up costing you nothing because you get the cost of the test back in coupons for our products. So it's quite a win-win, and it's information that we're developing along with the group we're working with called Grassroots Health to record your blood tests and your clinical symptoms and how your symptoms improve over time based on the nutrients you're taking and what blood levels you achieve to attain those clinical improvements. It's the first of its kind, this type of clinical testing, and it is a research project. There are many doctors involved, and they're continually writing up reports and evidence of what they're finding. It started out with vitamin D, and I had this allergy. I had a word allergy to vitamin D because I was concerned that the high amounts that were starting to be recommended were not taking into consideration that people need to be saturated with magnesium in order for their vitamin D to work properly, to be converted from the storage form to the active form. So we're developing information about that as well to be able to pass on to our customers. Our magnesium deficiency survey continues on. I think we've got about 70,000 0,000 people who've dropped by our website and taken the time to take this survey. And we're finding out just extraordinarily scary things that 70% of people say they experience anxiety and insomnia. 60% have leg cramps. 53% heart palpitations and restless legs, 40% headaches and migraines. And those are horrible symptoms. And those symptoms lead people to take medications because neither they nor their doctors realize that they may be suffering from magnesium deficiency. The next announcement, I and Kate is working on with me on updating my books. There are new versions of all of the 17 free ebooks at drcarolyndeanlive.com. If you've downloaded any of these books, go and look at the version, which is on the first written page of the book after the cover, and see what version it is, and then go to our drcarolyndeanlive.com website, and if there's a new version, download it, because I'm always updating, and there are always new products that we're adding as well that change the book and change the content. Our nutrients journal paper called Circulating Ionized Magnesium as a Measure of Supplement Bioavailability. This is our first university study, first of many. We were such a hit with the research team doing this study that they want to continue. I mean, they said, well, we'll do it for free. This stuff is so amazing. So we've found out that REMAG, of course, we started with REMAG. REMAG is, in fact, picometer size. They had to retest it 3 times for this molecular size analyzer system, because they couldn't believe that this liquid had no visible particles in it, because the so-called particles of the stabilized ion of magnesium are at an ion size. They're at a picometer size, so they're not going to be visible when you scatter a laser through this REMAG liquid. So it's pretty awesome. We're also proving that serum magnesium is not a great test. The body doesn't measure, or the serum test does not properly measure the amount of magnesium in your body, and that's pretty. It's pretty much a crucial test that we need in order to know whether we're deficient, and we can't say that from the serum magnesium test, but we're showing that the ionized magnesium testing is what the standard should be. So we'll just keep doing our studies and keep proving that until we finally get the labs to listen and put in the ionized magnesium testing machinery. They do ionized calcium tests, they do ionized potassium tests, they do not yet do ionized magnesium tests. That is their standard. And the 9th announcement, some weeks or months, there won't be an announcement, but our new product launch today is the family size, or the super duper size of Realign. It was a 60 capsule bottle, and now we've added 120 capsule bottle. So when did you put that on the website, Ginny, the 120 bottle, and do you know how it's doing?
We did put it on this morning, and but we didn't tell anybody about it yet. So now we're telling people, although our international distributors got wind of it and they've all picked it up and they've got it stocking their shelves, or soon to be stocked on their shelves. Yeah, so we're making the first formal announcement tonight on the show that we doubled. Not only did we double the size of Realign, but we reduced the price. So buying a large bottle is less expensive than buying a 2 of the 60 capsule bottles by 10%. So you save 10% by buying the large bottle, and that's a good deal, because a lot of people would buy 2 Realign at a time because they wanted to have one to take and one on hand in case, I don't know, we had a pandemic or something like that.
Exactly. And you said the word international customers. Do you want to give people a quick update on what countries we have distributors in, which is going to help people get their products sooner on the ground in the country they live in, instead of having to wait for it to come from the US of A?
Sure. Well, our one of our foundational or our cornerstone distributors, of course, is Naomi Murray and Botanica at Botanica Health and Sports in the United Kingdom. She's been with us since 2012, and she does an amazing job over there. So she serves the UK. Another one of our fantastic distributors is Narelle Blakeman. Narelle is down at positivehealth.com.au in Australia, and she's been with us since 2014, doing an absolutely amazing job. Lorraine Andrus is up in Canada, and right now we're having a difficult time with the importing and exporting up there because of the COVID and different things, but we're hoping to have that restored soon. And then Lorraine will be at bat for all of our Canadian customers. We have an incredible team of people in the Czech Republic who service a lot of European countries, and their website is emagnesium.com. And Rado and Katrina and all the people at Mineral Pharmacy in Czech Republic do an amazing, amazing job. And they do all of Eastern Europe, including Slovenia, and they do Poland, they do Germany, they do Hungary. They do an amazing job there. Then we have so excited to be bringing on, and this has been a long-standing thing of ours. So we have really good friends in South Africa that use the products for years. We've never been able, we have so many problems with South Africa, and we've never been able to get a South African distributor until now. And we're loading up our first pallet, or not quite a pallet, but a big box of products, and getting them down to South Africa. And I think we've gotten all the kinks worked out of the system, so people will be able, especially in Johannesburg, we'll be able to get them locally. And some of our other South African customers may still order direct from us a little bit on the website until we can get it all sorted out. But South Africa is going to be an amazing place for our products. And we have a dear friend here in North Carolina who owns a company in South Africa, and he's been taking Remag down there for quite a while. So people in South Africa know Remag and know our products, and that's very exciting. We're adding a distributor in Belgium. We may be adding somebody in New Zealand. We've got so many people who are inquiring. We have the most very precious people in the whole wide world, Anthony and Tony Wang in China. And that's been a little topsy-turvy, but we trust that that's going to get back to where it needs to be at some point. We have Dr. Lee in Taiwan. So we've got that part. So it's just the worldwide. Oh, and then of course our amazing in process, in discovery, Dr. Julio Caldon down in Colombia, Cali, Colombia, with his clinic down there, and getting our stuff together in Colombia. Now, we were going great guns, and the COVID came and kind of gave us a little bit of a spanking, kind of set people sideways on the international part. So we're still nailing down all the details, but we're very fortunate. Our products are received around the world, and in part it's because we're all constructed of the same cellular material. There's not a language that Remag doesn't speak, because it's talking at a cellular level, and that's the same with all of our products. So very, very happy to have all these great distributors working on behalf of so many of our customers around the world.
Wonderful. Excellent update. That's so special. I know the people who are in, well, maybe North America, and yes, it's unfortunate that Canadian orders sometimes get bumped because they're a foreign country these days, but people don't realize how widespread our message has become. People are talking us up all over the world, and the way the internet is, anybody in any country can be in touch with us. And you have over 100 countries that you've been shipping to, isn't that right, Ginny?
We ship to 215 countries. We have, yeah. Carolyn.
Oh, I'm a little behind. Okay.
Oh, that's so funny. We ship to 250. And you know what? We have some great customers in Germany too. I don't want to leave anybody else. We have a wonderful customer, a distributor too in Italy that's kind of in flux. So the COVID is doing a little bit of that, but we have great customers all around the world. We really, really do. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Okay. on to a COVID update before we get to today's topic. I've been reading, and I know this to be true for any influenza. 1/3 of outpatients with COVID-19 are unwell weeks later. And I write a whole section about post-influenza symptoms in my health encyclopedia, Future Health Now Encyclopedia. You can download it for free, get the updated version at drcarolyndeanlive.com. Look up colds and flus, and at the end I talk about what to do if you have post-influenza syndrome or symptoms. And this testimonial just came in, might have been today, knowing, I guess, that I was going to talk about this just a bit. And Margaret says, I was gifted Remite and Remag after contracting COVID. During our recovery, we started taking both in our daily water. Previously, we had been taking a powder form of magnesium for about a year and a half. There is a huge difference in how we feel with these two dynamos versus the other powdered brand. I was having intermittent twitching eyes, numb fingers, and I could not lose any weight despite trying for a very long time. Now all of those conditions have been alleviated since starting our Remag and Remite regimen. Thank you, Dr. Dean. So this is what you can say to friends or family who may have been unfortunately contracting the COVID virus, that they could be taking our products. I would also add realign, restructure if the appetite is poor, take the Pico Silver and Pico Zinc if there's still a cough or an irritation. If you've got a sinus buildup of mucus, you could put a teaspoon of Pico Silver. This is what I do. I suppose I shouldn't be telling you medical treatments, but I personally have been doing these things. I put a teaspoon of Pico Silver in saline water in a neti pot, and I've been doing Pico Zinc, and I've been doing my Flora Revive for yeast overgrowth, which I've had for decades. So all our products are helpful to support the structure and function of the body. And this is what we started out with, 10 years ago with the Remag, and then, Realign was first, actually. Actually, RNA reset drops were first, then Realign, then the Remag and Remite and the Restructure. And I thought, that's good enough. 95% of people are going to feel better, and the other 5% may have to get a lot of investigations to see what's going on. But we were helping 95% of people. And then, when the COVID came along, we ramped up and just put more products out that would relate directly with the immune system. Because one thing that COVID has taught us is that our population was on the brink of being very sick. The people who contracted this and had fatal outcomes, overweight, inflammatory diseases, on a lot of medications, deficient in vitamin D and zinc and magnesium. So we had to take care of all those things as a general approach to this virus. And viruses are not going to go away. You cannot hide at home and avoid viruses, because, and this is a difficult topic, but I'll say it every once in a while to kind of let people know what may really be going on, is we have trillions of organisms in our bodies, and They are viruses and bacteria and fungi and even parasites. And they will morph into something that becomes kind of virulent when your immune system doesn't keep them in check. It's that simple. COVID coronaviruses form 20% of our colds and flus. And you know very well, you can get run down, stressed out, and start developing cold and flu symptoms, and you haven't been around anybody. Your immune system just is not able to cope with the load that your body is supposed to keep under control. And why I focus on yeast overgrowth so much is because the yeast toxins number 178. So that's 178 different chemicals that the immune system has to neutralize, bind up, throw out of the body. It takes liver resources to do that. It takes the bone marrow producing white blood cells to take care of the yeast itself, and then the liver has to deal with the toxins that are formed. So to my mind, I've always known that yeast overgrowth is depressing the immune system. And it's fortunate that we got the Flora Revive out there last year before COVID came along. We also got our Pico Silver out there, which supports the immune system. So that is a bit of post-COVID support that I want to reinforce to you. Now, at the same time, from our over 100,000 customers, we've only had one case. David and his wife had COVID, and David just said they doubled up and found someone to give them an intravenous vitamin C. But we know our customers know people who probably had the virus and want to pass on this information. So, Ginny, is there anything you can add there before I go to the topic of the day?
Yeah, I would just like to add this little soliloquy, and it's really about you, Carolyn, because first of all, number one, you should be retired. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Number two, you got into the whole situation that you're in right now as a desire to really get magnesium, the minerals, the drops out there, and give people opportunities and options. And, you've worked diligently. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Dean works 7 days a week right alongside with me in the trenches, writing books, answering emails, talking with people, being available to all of our customers around the world, our vendors. I mean, she's in it to win it and to have her hands on everything because her name is on every bottle. And it's not something that she takes lightly, her responsibility there. But I watched you totally transform our product line, this year through this whole COVID thing. And this is the difference between Carolyn Dean and a lot of other people. And that she is a leader. She's on the leading edge of creation. She responds at a global level to what's happening. She was out at, the meetings out in Rome, Italy in 2004. She's been ahead in the health freedom movement of what's been going on there. She's been aggressively involved in all kinds of behind the scene things. She's led the charge to magnesium research. This is a very active, busy woman, and she cares about people's health and their well-being. And more than anything, she cares about the supplement industry and wants that to be maintained with integrity too. And you just can't trust all the products that are out there. So if you have built a product base of people who rely on us for the quality products that we do bring to market, she wants them to have that same experience with vitamin C, vitamin D, and she wants them to be put well together. So I say hats off to you, Carolyn. I mean, again, an extraordinary leader, ahead of your time, always ahead of trends, always watching for research and scientific evidence-based information to which you can base your decisions and advise your customers, and now an entire network of physicians who are looking to Carolyn for leadership and guidance on how to make these adjustments, and they're functional, they're integrative. We've got dietitians, we've got chiropractors, massage, every single kind, dentists, cardiologists, an entire a whole new genre of people emerging through our pro line that are also looking to Carolyn for that leadership and guidance. So I say hats off to you, sis. 100% for sure. I mean, 100%. What you're doing is really awesome. Oh, wait a minute.
Yay. Thank you, Ginny, and thank you, children. Well, I try to deflect some of that and just say, well, I'm doing it so I can stay healthy and I can keep Bob healthy. And then I pass it on to everybody else, with Ginny doing all the work. I mean, let's face it, the customer service is unparalleled. We get testimonials and kudos every day about how wonderful our customer service is. So hats off to you, girl. Thank you so much.
And our shipping team, led by Susan, and all of our shipping staff. That's right. Yep, absolutely. Everybody, all hands on deck. All hands on deck.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, what we have for today's topic, we're into candida yeast overgrowth, and the email was sent out to, it seems like half of our people get emails, and then the other half are looking at this information on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, we're all over social media with Ginny's help and Kate's help. So that's been quite wonderful, having access to a whole new audience, especially on Instagram. And what we're saying in this blog, you can follow it at DearCarolynDeanLive.com at the top of the home page, is about the summertime. I don't know how many people are traveling with COVID, but the exposure to environmental toxins goes up in the summer. And one particular toxin that affects millions is acetaldehyde. Now, when I found out about this years ago, when I was looking up the yeast toxins, because it is a yeast toxin, I was just blown away. And I wrote about this. And here's some of the text. It's acetaldehyde belongs to the chemical family of aldehydes, a pervasive environmental toxin. The human body possesses enzymes that convert it to a less harmful substance and therefore is protected from small exposures. However, acetaldehyde at toxic levels can make its way into the brain from sources such as alcohol consumption, breathing air contaminated with acetaldehyde from cigarettes, smoke and other smoke smog, vehicle and factory exhaust, synthetic fragrances, and our yeast overgrowth. So this exposure kind of marches right along with the candida overgrowth. And you can read this blog. It's a bit detailed, but the information here goes into the yeast overgrowth that I cover in Reset the Yeast Connection. If you want more information about yeast, it's there. And one thing that really struck me when I was looking at this, I realized that a person with overload of yeast who drinks alcohol produces their own acetaldehyde from the alcohol, but is also producing acetaldehyde from yeast production. So this is where we say we can't tolerate alcohol. I can't take more than a drink. I'll save myself and have a margarita that Ginny makes when I visit, and that's it. I'm done. One drink. So this is something that we didn't intentionally work on Realign to treat this, but it so happens that the different ingredients in Realign do help metabolize acetaldehyde, and they also help, along with the Flora Revive and our Pico Silver, to get people to a stage where they have lowered amounts of yeast, and therefore the immune system can deal with the lower amounts of yeast at the same time that the Realign and the Pico Silver and the antifungal in Flora Revive are dealing with the toxins. So it's something that we've noticed with our products. They're very synergistic. They all work together. We can never just say, oh, take this one thing for this condition, because everything is interwoven. For example, the magnesium in our Remag empowers aldehyde dehydrogenase to help break down acetaldehyde. The molybdenum mineral found in Remite is an acetaldehyde buster. And then, as I said, the Realign, the sulfur amino acids mobilize the sulfur detoxification pathways. The methylated B vitamins in Realign drive the methyl detoxification pathways. And the methionine in Realign is a precursor to glutathione, which is the most important antioxidant in the body. And although we try not to talk about it too much, it must be said that our Realign metabolizes alcohol to the point of not triggering blood alcohol levels on a breathalyzer. So that's, I skimmed through because there's a lot of text there, but, please read through it either in your email or at drcarolyndeanlive.com. But in skimming through that, Ginny, what did I leave out that we should add here?
No, I think that's perfect. It was nothing. We're good.
We're good. Okay. So then the questions came in, and I appreciate folks sending in the questions, because if you're thinking it, 100 other people are thinking it, and by answering your question, we answer the questions of hundreds of people. Jill says, I've been fighting Candida for several years. I ordered Flora Revive today, was wondering if it is strong enough to balance intestinal bacteria and kick out yeast, or if an antifungal protocol would still be needed. I did read your book and tried your protocol, but was allergic to one of the ingredients. Also, I was on a very strict diet for a few years with no sugar, starchy veggies, carbs, etc. Thank you. Okay, so Jill is exactly in the position where I found myself with my yeast overgrowth. It's like, how strict do you have to be for how long to overcome these symptoms? And that's where, when Flora Revive came out, and we'd been working with Pico Silver boosts the immune system. It works with the white blood cells. It also helps modify a Herxheimer reaction or a die-off when you're killing something. So we had the Flora Revive and the Pico Silver. So I modified the yeast treatment. You'll see in the newest version of Reset the Yeast Connection, I have something called yeast management. So rather than being strict and, no sugar at all and no fruit, I personally wanted to take a very gentle but daily antifungal to get a handle on my yeast overgrowth. And I've found that it's very helpful. It changed my bowel movements in a very interesting, positive way. And I don't know what else is going on. I think I have less mucus. I have less gas. I didn't have much bloating, but yeah, actually I might have less bloating. And what we're hearing from people now, let me just see if I can find. We have several people who've been writing in. Patty says, having followed you and your offerings for many years, it wasn't a big surprise to me that you have hit another home run out of the park. Flora Revive has changed my digestive system in the short month I've been taking it. Short month, 1 month, ending many years of alternating slight constipation and near diarrhea. Amazing. Thank you so much. And actually, I keep in touch with a young schoolgirl who I had working in my office many years ago, and now she's doing some brilliant things up in Toronto. And she emailed me and thanked me for Flora Revive and said that her bowel movements and all her gut stuff had very much improved. So thank you for that, Jill and Patty. The next question, I've been getting my mercury fillings removed. I've been taking 2 Reline capsules every day in order to help me detox from heavy metal poisoning. I'm feeling achy, slightly sniffy, nauseous, and have gas. Could I be detoxing from the Reline? And this is how. So what I'd say there is achy, sniffly, nauseous, and gas. It's more likely related to yeast overgrowth, Hal. So to the Reline, add your Flora Revive and the Pico Silver. Don't know if you're using those yet, but look at Reset the Yeast Connection and get the reasoning behind that, those products, which I personally take. Mercury fillings, if they're not removed in specific ways, you can get some of that mercury vapor back into your body. And mercury is a super duper antibiotic. Okay, so it is going to kill good and bad bacteria. It's going to let yeast overgrow, and you're going to get yeast symptoms in the midst of trying to get rid of these mercury fillings. Reline is the best detoxifier for heavy metal poisoning. It was created for that purpose. So it definitely is the one to keep taking, as well as yeast management protocol. And I don't know how much Hal weighs, but I might take 3 or 4 Reline if I wanted to do a little more detoxification on heavy metals. And Sandra is saying, is there a connection between my AFib and acid reflux, which is getting worse at night, and yeast? I took the quiz in the Yeast Reset book, but the protocol seems very complicated. If I do the program, will this help calm my body down at night? Is there any easier way to deal with yeast overgrowth? So there's perfect question. Okay, Sandra, so you'll look at the yeast management at the top of the newest version of the yeast book. It probably is not in your version. And what happens with acid reflux and AFib is when you get sort of burping and reflux of stomach contents up past your esophageal sphincter, it can irritate an area that then kind of transfers that area to your heart. So yes, acid reflux can affect the heart, and yeast overgrowth can stimulate acid reflux because of all the bubbling gas and irritation. So they all mix together. Now, if it's worse at night, you really, this is, I had to do this for many years. Don't eat after 7 p.m. because if you lie down with a full stomach and things are digesting, and if you don't have enough magnesium, your esophageal sphincter can kind of go into spasm, and you can have reflux. So there are a few things that you can do while you're sorting out your yeast. Don't eat after 7 p.m. To keep your stomach more emptied so it won't push back up on your esophageal sphincter. And here's an interesting question. According to my naturopath, so says Frederica, I have a toxic liver, and everything I tried to detox it gave me head spins. Is it safe for me to take Realign? Would it help me? What can the side effects be? Now, what's interesting about a toxic liver is that you have to be very careful when you're dealing with the liver. Let me go to this, what I call a teaching testimonial, to explain what I mean. We're in customer service, we're working with this gentleman, and he's got atrial fibrillation, and he just sent this in today. All my loving respect from Los Angeles, he starts with, which is very sweet. As you know, I'm on a protocol for my AFib, simultaneously continuing the full RENAT protocol that I've been on since October 2019. This Wolfson protocol has me on a liver detox right now, specifically Dr. Shade's liver sauce liver detox, which involves one component that is a drink based in charcoal. And I looked it up. The other is a number of herbs, including milk thistle, alpha lipoic acid, different things. It's taken in the morning before eating. The basic protocol is a 1 month detox that's 5 days on and 2 days off for each of the 4 weeks. So he says, I've noticed over the last 2 weeks that I've been on it, that my AFib symptoms have gotten slightly worse on days I'm taking the liver detox, sometimes dramatically worse. After an initial improvement over the past month of being off the flecainide, so that's what this gentleman approached us about in the beginning. He'd been given flecainide for his AFib. He was improved somewhat in the beginning, but then he got a lot worse, and that's when he found out that I talk about the fluoride molecules in the flecainide that could bind with your magnesium and reduce your magnesium. So he got off the flecainide with his doctor's approval, and he improved, but and he was taking his Remag on a paleo diet, and then he started this liver detox and started to get worse. So here's what I said, and here's what you must know about the liver. I told him my experience shows that the liver isolates viruses and tries to keep them out of circulation. Think of hepatitis and Epstein-Barr. So if you go after the liver directly with the detox protocol, you can release viruses and viral toxins. I'm not saying you have these infections, but it's the job of the liver to neutralize viruses. If you flush the liver and these viruses and viral toxins dump out, then you can trigger symptoms, in your case, AFib. So he says, my question to you is that if you feel that the charcoal soaks up or binds with the magnesium and nullifies some of what I'm taking on those days, causing symptoms to worsen. I said, I don't think that's the case. Remag absorbs higher up. You're absorbing your remag in your mouth. Your tongue is absorbing remag. It's that tiny picometer stabilized ion. It's absorbed in your mouth, in your esophagus, in your stomach. It doesn't even hardly get to your intestines. And this is part of what we're finding with our university studies. Continuing. And the charcoal is, and the charcoal is supposed to absorb toxins released by the liver, but it's not getting them all. So it's like he's taking a detox for the liver, dumping a lot of liver toxins. The charcoal is supposed to absorb them, but it's not getting them all, and the toxins are stimulating his AFib. He says, my random and frequent premature atrial contractions seem to have subsided again, having been off the flecainide for a couple of weeks now. But I'm still having daily or once every 2 day frequency of AFib symptoms, so it's concerning. I desperately want to see more improvement of my condition so I can avoid a catheter ablation. And I hate it when people, are desperate. It's just so sad that people get into a desperation about their health anyway, I'll continue. So what I said to him is what I do for detoxing is realign. It gives the body the building blocks for detox, and the body chooses when it wants to detox and isn't forced into that position. It has 4 methylated Bs. The methyl groups assist liver methylation. 4 food-based Bs. There's nothing synthetic. The 2 sulfur amino acids are for the sulfation, liver detox pathways, and methionine is a precursor to glutathione. And I also added pico silver and pico zinc are also pretty amazing antivirals. And pico silver assists in taking out the toxins that are released from the liver. Okay, so I just thought that was a perfect case to talk about today. And we're almost at the top of the hour. I just have the last 2 mailbags, then we're done, then we can do phones in the second hour. Robert is saying, I have tried everything the last 5 years to ease brain fog, even being tested for adult ADD. I also have frequent sinus headaches. My doctor can't find anything. Could this be the effect of yeast toxins? What can I do to clear my head? Okay, this is very important. Sinus infections, according to a Mayo Clinic study, showed that they're 97% fungal related, because someone with sinus headaches will have been given a lot of antibiotics, and the antibiotics will kill off good and bad bacteria and lead to the yeast overgrowth and create this buildup in the nasal passages and the sinuses. So this is where, Robert, you should go to my, in Reset the Yeast Connection, you can find the neti pot used for sinuses, but also in Future Health Now Encyclopedia, you can look up sinuses, and in there I talk about the pico silver, the tea tree oil, and also there is dilute hydrogen peroxide that you can use in a neti pot to get rid of this yeast overgrowth in the sinuses, as well as doing the yeast management protocol. I don't know if that's too much complexity to throw at you, but just using that information, you can check out the 2 books and then get in touch with customer service. Actually, Julie would be the best person to get in touch with, because what did Julie tell us, Jenny? She had decades of sinus infections, and when pico silver came out, she got rid of them. And the last mailbag is, I'm female, 62, slightly overweight, suffering from painful joints and muscles and indigestion. I started taking Remag June 17th, a half teaspoon twice a day. I realized that I'm very toxic. Could you suggest a regimen for taking of supplements for maximum benefit? So basically, it is our protocol of increasing REMAG to maybe 2 and 3 teaspoons, taking REMITE, looking at reset the yeast connection to see if the joints are holding on toxins from yeast overgrowth, because when you have indigestion, it can mean the bubbling up of yeast in the gut, the incomplete digestion of food, and then the yeast toxins and the incompletely digested food get into the body, create antigen allergy reactions that settle in the joints and muscles. There's also an element of other infections involved, and that's why the yeast management with the Flora Revive and the Pico Silver is the best way that I know to go. Over to you, Jenny. You have 2 minutes.
Very good. Well, that was a very full first hour, Carolyn, but we sure traveled a long way and covered a lot of territory. And I can't reinforce enough how great Realign is. It is truly a hug for your liver. So I'm glad you really broke down that liver teaching piece and really went into details about it, because it's such a wonderful product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
And it's very simple, very basic, and very natural. And that's probably why it works as well. So,
yes. Yeah. And
perfect.
the ingredients in Realign take months, literally, to grow. I mean, we grow it for the batch. It's not like sitting around on a big warehouse and comes us on a pallet and they chop it up and stuff it in a capsule like some of this other stuff. This is actually cultivated and harvested for our peeps, for their little tummies, to go in there and do the wonderful things. It's so exciting. All right, so let's just say at the beginning of the next hour, we're going to get on these phones and rock them out. And I just hope everybody raises their hand, *9, and just jumps on there and wants to talk to Dr. Dean. 646-558-8656 is the number, and then the ID is 8836. 95 35 87, but that's on your computer screen and it's in our emails, and you can click on the link, and we'd love you to jump on and join us. Again, *9 to ask a question, and we'll be right back here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Hour 2 coming up with Dr. Carolyn Dean.
We'll be back with Hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of The Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order The Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Completement Formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RNAreset.com to learn more. That's RNARESET.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Dream Vision 7 Radio. I love that music, Carolyn. It's just so happy.
I know Bob just yelled out, "Is that Dave's music?" And Bob, who is a very good DJ himself and a music critic, thought it was great. So, yeah, we're very happy with Dave Neufeld's original music for our show. Thank you, Dave.
Yes, he did a great job. It's just happy. All right, everybody, let's get to the phone. 646-558-8656 is the number you can call. I understand you might be able to hit pound once you come in, or you may need that access ID number, which is 8836953587. We've got a lot of people on the phone tonight, and we're so happy that you've joined us. And I'm imagining you want to chitty chat with Dr. Dean because she is the most important person to talk to. So *9 on your keypad raises your hand and let me know you have a question or comment. And then we'll put you on the line with Dr. Dean and we will start chatting away. So we're going to go out to area code 731. 731, you're on the line with Dr. Dean.
Yes. Hi, Priscilla. It's Priscilla, Jenny.
It's Julia this time. It's Priscilla's sister.
Oh my God! Oh, that's so funny. Hi, Julia. Hi, Sue. How you doing?
I'm blessed. I had
Very
a question. Why my feet and ankles want to swell? I take Remag and Remite, and I also use the with the real salt.
Yeah. And are you doing the 1/4 teaspoon in every liter of drinking water? And are you drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water?
I just drink when I'm thirsty, and I guess I didn't even bother to measure it. Maybe I should be measuring it. Let's see. I drink I weigh about 150, so I should be drinking about 75 ounces, which is equivalent to a half gallon. Okay.
Right. Yeah, 62. Yes. What happens is if you don't drink enough water, it doesn't allow the minerals to get into the cells, and then there's a whole dynamic that's lost there, where water just, by gravity falls to the ankles. So
yeah, I feel like I do drink enough. I feel like I do drink at least that much water in a day.
Well, just check it out, because that's the first thing to look at, Julia. I've written some blogs. You can check out some of my blogs about, let me see if I can find the names of them, like edema might be in the blog name. So you type in edema and my name, and one of the blogs is called Dealing with Edema. And it's mainly about getting enough minerals. Now, it's also, are you getting enough Remag? Because you might need 2.5, 3 teaspoons a day.
I've been taking 4 teaspoons or 4.5 each day.
Good. And then the Remite. That if you're taking 4 of Remag, we like you to take half that amount in Remite, which is 2 teaspoons.
All right. I had been taking 1.5 teaspoons of Remite, but then I was dealing with so many hot flashes, and it's like there's another one of my supplements that has iodine in, and my nutritionalist saying that I know I must not use too much iodine because my thyroid is down, and it might overstress it and all that stuff. And it's like, is that a possibility?
Well, I don't. You have to be really concerned about getting too much iodine, Julia. I mean, what maybe you could do, because it's getting a little detailed here, and I want all the details, but this is personal to your situation. So why don't you email to our customer service support at rnareset.com and say, I'd like to submit my information for Dr. Dean to look at, and we'll just do the details. Okay?
All right. Well, I don't have the email.
Well, what you do is you give a phone call then to customer service. And Ginny, what's the phone number for customer service?
It's
like I don't know it.
No. It's on all our bottles for anybody. In case you forget, Julia, it's 888-577-3703, but it's on all of our bottles. And they're
on all your bottles.
Yep, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
All right. And I can call and leave a message. Leave a question, and then Dr. Dean can look at it and let's see how will I get the information.
Well, they'll call you back, sweetheart. They're ambidextrous that way. Yep, they'll talk with you.
All right.
They'll help you. They'll talk with Carolyn. They'll get back to you. They're very good.
Okay.
You'll see.
And what's it going to cost me?
It doesn't cost you anything. It's free.
Okay. Well, I just might do that.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
But just check out the amount of water you're drinking, because that's the number one thing to look at. Okay, Julia?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, sweetie. Say hi to Priscilla.
All right. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
That's sweet. How much is it going to cost me? That's so precious. That's so
I
sweet.
know.
Who would think that anybody would? Yeah, that's sweet. Okay, back to the phone, 646-558-8656, *9 on your keypad to raise your hand, and we'll put you on the line with Dr. Dean. Right now, no raised hands. Carolyn, what shall we talk about?
I have testimonials. We have so many testimonials that they're like never ending. And so let me know when someone wants to talk, but I'll go into this first one from Therese. She says, Pico Silver works. I've been taking Pico Silver orally and recently applied it topically to a painful pimple-like growth in my nose. And after 2 days, it was gone. Now, what I wanted to talk about here is that I get those pimple-like growths in the nose, and I think they're like a staphylococcal boil. We have staph all over our body. It's just normal. And when you get a little extra yeast overgrowth, which I get, then you can develop the staph. It's like the yeast brings down your immune defenses, and this staph can just pop up. And what I do with something like this is I'll get a cotton swab, like from a cosmetic cotton pad, cut a piece of it up or just use the whole thing, put a teaspoon of Pico Silver on it, keep it in a little dish, and then every half hour just squish it on the area in my nose. Now, this reminds me that you can do that with cold sores too, herpes on your lips. I used to get terrible cold sores because I burned my whole face once when Bob and I were in Hawaii when we were kids. Well, when we were teenagers. And so I set myself up for this horrible reactivation of cold sores I had when I was a kid. And I hardly get them now, even though I'm living in Hawaii, and I try to stay out of the sun, of course, but I live in Hawaii, and I must have gotten a little extra sun on my face one day, just a week and a half ago, and I had this little bump, and it was not like my normal cold sore. It didn't tingle, it didn't feel real sensitive. It was just a bump, but I knew it was a cold sore beginning. And I thought, oh, great, they're just dreadful things. So I did the same that I do for the staph in my nose. I started applying this cotton pad soaked with Pico Silver on the area, and I swear it just diminished. It just went away, and that has never happened before. So Pico Silver does work. I agree, Therese. I'm going to stop now and see if Jenny has a phone call.
I don't have a phone call, but I do want to leave another word about Pico Silver. Somebody typed in on our YouTube line, Carolyn. One of the things that she said was to echo your comment about Julie and her sinuses. She said, I use Pico Silver in a Neomed sinus rinse bottle, and she rarely has sinus headaches anymore. It got it all cleared up for her. So Pico Silver is definitely such an amazing asset. Everybody should have a bottle of that on hand. And it's one thing that you can really use confidently with your pets too, especially in the summertime when they're scratching and they get, they're outside a lot. They get little tiny bites on them, or they're running around the yard and they rip off a toenail, or whatever they do. It's just such an incredible, well, they do, they're ripping through the yard and they rip off a toenail or something. It's an incredible treatment for pets. So definitely make sure you've got some of that stuff on hand. It's very good.
Right. Very good. Next testimonial. This is from Florence. She said, finally, I have found something that works for my leg cramps. I'm taking the Remite and Remag. Plus, I've increased my water intake per your recommendation. No more leg cramps. They were terrible. I would get them all night long in places I couldn't stretch out to relieve them. I have tried so many different remedies, vitamins, creams, and nothing worked. I'm now finally cramp-free with these two wonderfully easy remedies. Wonderfully easy to take remedies. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Florence. Isn't that awesome? Imagine, years and decades of lying in bed with leg cramps. And it sounds like they were a magnesium deficiency. Next one. Marion says, this supplement pulled me out of atrial fibrillation several times. It helps reduce leg cramps at night. Also, I have to drink enough water to prevent this. And it reduces irregular heartbeats. It took several years, but I'm now able to reduce the amount I take. Look at that. It took me a year and a half, Marion. But so I agree. And I had been taking angstrom magnesium before that, but it just wasn't strong enough. Okay, the next testimonial. I'm sure I've kept my hair color because of taking this mineral supplement, and Remag. I'm 76 years old, but the hair, The hair only remains the color it is when the minerals are started, and good health can be attributed to, of course. Now, what we have heard from people who say that they're when they're on the products, and it may be all of them, Remag, Remite, Realign, Restructure, and RNA Reset drops, they say their hair color has even come back. And Brenda says, hello, I'm hooked on the Remag lotion. I knew I needed to increase my magnesium intake, but I have a difficult time with ingesting it. When I saw that Dr. Dean had formulated a lotion that wouldn't burn or itch like the others I've tried, I had to try it. I'm so pleased with how wonderful it is to use, and it doesn't leave you sticky at all. Enter my restless legs. I decided to try the lotion to see if it would help. To my delight, it works like a dream. Thank you for such an amazing product. Awesome. I'll read one more and then see if Ginny's got something. From Michael, your company is the best I've ever dealt with. Ginny's crew is fantastic. I've been on your products for 10 years now. They have been lifesavers. Thanks for everything. Cool. And Ginny, anything else? Anything on your end?
Diane is on YouTube again. Diane is on YouTube, a question from YouTube coming in. And she's asking, she said, I just got Pico Silver for my dad. He has a nail fungus. How much in drops should he be using on his toenail?
Well, yes, I've asked people who said that when they drop it on their toenails or whatever, that they're dealing with their fungus. You know what I would do? I would, kind of vis-a-vis what I was talking about with a cotton cosmetic pad. I would soak a pad with the Pico Silver, and then put the pad on the toe and kind of bandage it. If it's just the one toe, that's fairly simple to really wet with the Pico Silver, but then you have to bandage it up. There are even little condoms for the toes. Have you seen those, Ginny? They're for people. They're just I don't know what they're called. Probably something ridiculous. But they're little plastic sleeves that you can put on fingers or toes, so that you can put a cream or a liquid on your toe or finger while you're trying to heal it. So you can ask the pharmacist about that, but somehow concoct a way to put the pico silver next to the toe. When people have told us that they'll put pico silver in a dropper bottle and then drop a few drops on the toe several times a day, it does take a fairly long time, but I think if you put the pico silver directly on it for, you can leave it on all day, or maybe just put it on at night and wrap it up with a little plastic and put a sock on. That would work, actually. And what happens with the nails, with toenails, it takes months for that toenail to grow out. But we have had many people over time tell us that they've gotten rid of their toenail fungus. How's that, Ginny? Is that enough information that I stumbled through there?
Yes, I think that's great. And also, is that toenail fungus part of yeast overgrowth? And should he be taking some internally to deal with what's going on, or maybe an antifungal like the Flora Revive?
Yes, that's a good point. I think that's the case, that when someone is susceptible to toenail fungus, then it means their body is sort of yeasty. They have yeast overgrowth. So that would be a suitable thing to take, and actually take pico silver by mouth, take the Flora Revive, and go to the Reset the Yeast Connection just to read through what the yeast management protocol is, which is to take pico silver and Flora Revive.
Okay, very good. I also have a question coming in from Michaela. She said, I've had an HTMA test showing extremely high levels of copper. Would Pico Zinc help me to address that?
It could, but I'm leery of treating copper dumped out with anything, because the body is getting rid of the copper. Does it still mean that there's copper in the blood? So if you can find someone, Michaela, to do blood levels of copper and see if it's in the body, or is the body dealing with it by dumping it out in the hair, excreting it, for example. And what we start with is the remite. The remite has biological copper, bioavailable copper, I should say, and it has 10 times the zinc as it does copper. So I formulated the copper and zinc and remite in that way because we know that there's a lot of copper toxicity out there. So you start with the remite and see if that shifts anything, but look for a blood test for copper first. And then in terms of zinc, you don't want to get rid of the copper that you require. You want to get rid of the toxic copper, which tends to be copper compound, not the stabilized ionic copper that you find in remite. We're asking people these days, in terms of virus and all, to take an extra maybe 10 milligrams of the pico zinc. So you could work with that amount. I personally wouldn't go high, because I think most people who do these hair tissue mineral analysis are going to tell you, oh, yeah, take 100 milligrams of zinc, you'll be fine. And then you sort of go up and down, like a teeter-totter, trying to balance things out. I've just found with really abnormal hair tissue mineral analysis that just taking your remite, just being steady, that things do sort themselves out. So hopefully that's enough information. It is a complex situation, but that's what I would do.
Outstanding answer. Yes, because if it's excreting through the hair and the test is skewed, then you really do need a blood test to get a more accurate read. Very, very good. Outstanding. All right, excellent. Live call-in show tonight, and that means live callers can talk with Dr. Dean by hitting *9 on your keypad, *9. We'll raise your hand here in the studio and let me know you have a question or comment, and then I'll put you on the phone with Dr. Dean. Otherwise, your line remains muted and you won't be able to chitty chat with her, which would be very, very sad indeed. So *9 to raise your hand. The number that you're calling is in all of our correspondence. Again, it's it's 646-558-8656. And then you've got to hit #, or dial in with the ID 8836-95-35-87. Okay, wonderful. That sounds like the measurements of an octopus or something, Carolyn. It's got so many
terrible.
arms to it.
Right,
Okay.
right.
All right, very good. Let's press on with our important testimonials.
Okie dokie. So this is from Anthony. Anthony says, I started using Remag last winter because of terrible back pain due to 2 consecutive doses of an antibiotic called Cipro.
Oh.
Now, Cipro is not our friend. It is a fluoride antibiotic, and it's been cited even by the FDA, black box warnings that it can cause tendon rupture and many, many side effects. I do not know why it's still on the market. It has harmed so many people. And when I learned about Cipro and it causes what looked to me like a lot of magnesium deficiency symptoms, and then I find out it's a fluoride drug, and then I looked into the fact that fluoride binds magnesium irreversibly, causing a buildup of a compound, a magnesium fluoride compound that is brittle, like a crystal that builds up in ligaments and tendons. So to me, it's causing this fluoride deficiency. It's causing the tendon rupture. And what we've tried to do is educate people about the fluoride drugs, like flecainide that I talked about earlier, that someone had to get off because they were getting worse taking the flecainide. So we try to educate people and tell them to take Remag as soon as they can. And what Anthony says, that I couldn't even go to bed because the pain was atrocious. After receiving the Remag, it took a few weeks, but the pain started to leave. And eventually, after 3 months, it was pretty cleared up. Please take into consideration that I have stage 4 prostate cancer with bone metastases, and Remag still helped me. Because of this, I decided to order another bottle because I believe in this product and will not be without it anymore. Thank you, Dr. Dean, for creating such a wonderful product. So that was amazing. I mean, Anthony's implying that he just had the one bottle over the 3 months that took away his pain, and then decided to keep going. So that's fantastic. But yes, we're very concerned about these medications that have a fluoride attachment. So if you're on a medication, you can look it up online under Wikipedia. They put the chemical formula to the right-hand side of the description. And if there's an F there, F is in Frank, then you know it has a fluoride molecule, a fluoride atom attached. And although the drug companies probably would say, well, we've tested this, it doesn't break down in a test tube or it's fine. But what we know from the probiotic researchers is that the intestinal bacteria make it their life's work to break down drugs in the intestines. So they will break down Cipro, release the fluoride then binds to magnesium, and Bob's your uncle. Isn't that crazy? Bob laughed. Okay, Ginny, that's the testimonials I have on file. I can easily go to Amazon and read more. So what do you want to do next?
Okay, let's see where we're at. We've got no raised hand. Everybody's just enjoying the repartee here, Carolyn. And we don't have any questions here on the YouTube. So let's see what else we've got to do. I think, I think we're good. Again, *9 on your keypad if you'd like to talk to Dr. Dean this evening. Otherwise, we'll just keep chitty-chatting, Carolyn. What would you like to talk about?
Yeah, I'll go to testimonials. We can go to our REMAG testimonials. But yeah, it's kind of frustrating. I don't know if it's the new station that people are finding hard to negotiate to get on to the phones, because we usually have a lot of callers. So as I said, it's kind of frustrating. So let's see what people are saying about our REMAG. The top reviews under REMAG. They're all over the place. They do have it in a chronological order, but they also have top reviews. Here's a top review. If I could give this 10 stars, I would. Especially, I don't know, maybe I read this recently, but I'll read it again. If I could give this 10 stars, I would, especially since I almost died 12 years ago from diabetes. I've been taking all kinds of supplements and exercise and all, but there was something missing. This isn't just another supplement to make someone money. Dr. Dean has come up with a seriously good product. You should read her books. I could write a book about me trying to take care of myself. I had a magnesium RBC test done. It came back good. But what I was experiencing and how I felt said different. I'm glad I put more emphasis on how I feel and experience than a test result. Now, this is very important because I know about half of our customers will say, well, how do I know I'm magnesium deficient? Half will look at their symptoms, read the information, and say, yeah, I need this. But a lot of people, they do focus on testing. And the trouble is that tests are not that accurate. The serum test is highly inaccurate. The RBC test is better, but it's still not great, especially the fact that the range of test results are based on our sick population. They've got nothing to do with being healthy or optimal. So that's why I have said to people over the years with the magnesium RBC test, try to make your test at the high end of normal. What we've done with the Grassroots Health is graduated to a lab that does RBC and whole blood testing of magnesium, which seems to be more accurate. It covers more bases. We would love it to be an ionized magnesium test. The thing they've got to get around in the ionized magnesium test is that it has to be analyzed immediately. You can't mail this out and expect to get a good result. It has to be tested immediately in the lab. So anyway, what this person found out is that her blood test may have been good, as she said. Maybe it was just in the range, maybe it was mid-range, she didn't say, but I would want it to be high normal anyway. So she goes on to say, one of the many things I've had such a hard time with is getting results from stretching. Now my legs want and enjoy stretching. The muscles are stretching. When I look back at this, I've been feeling like I was going to die for months. I asked God to allow me to have a massive stroke and heart attack in my sleep. My gosh, poor person. I don't know if it's a male or female. The answer I got was no, I have more to do. So this was revealed to me in my search for something to help me. I couldn't rely on doctors. I do not fear death. I do fear living like a basket case. I'm convinced magnesium is a big-time key factor in good health. The medical industry is interested in making themselves money. Dr. Dean is interested in helping people. There. That was sweet. And another one saying this product is amazing. It deserves 10 stars. And this person says, I had chronic fatigue, severe anxiety and panic attacks, depression and weakness due to years of chronic emotional stress and grief. My counselor recommended magnesium, and I wanted to find the best product. After one day on Remag, my anxiety symptoms lifted. After 3 months of using it, I'm not back to normal, but the changes are nothing short of amazing. This is literally restoring my life. It's an answer to prayer. I can exercise again. The feelings of depression and anxiety are gone, and my mood is returning to normal. My digestion, hormones, and energy are all improving. The dentist even noticed an improvement in my teeth. I'm telling everyone that I know about how amazing this is. Most, including myself, haven't even heard of the benefits. Yes, the taste is bitter, but that's a small price to pay for amazing health and vitality. I put it in water and sip it throughout the day. It's not bad that way. I think I've read that recently, but it just serves to remind people how important magnesium is. And I don't know if I'll keep reading. Anything from you, Ginny, before I go on to our magnesium research?
Well, one thing I thought we could talk about, because you mentioned them earlier, but we didn't, is the free ebooks, Carolyn, because as you mentioned, you have written 17 free ebooks. I mean, that's just an incredible resource. And as we talked about at the top of the show, we're at a time where people have got to take responsibility for their own health, and they've got to learn what's driving the machine, what keeps us going. And so I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about the books and what your thoughts are about how you've put them together, and what do you think the most important ones are, type of a thing.
Right. Yes, that's a good point. I know I did want to start telling people to get the new versions, but I don't think we've ever gone over the books. And if you go right now to drcarolyndeanlive.com and go to the free ebook link, and, I'm thinking of Julie and Priscilla, Ginny, who don't have the internet, but our Amish group, they've been printing up these books and making them available, haven't they?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Our customer service team will print them and send them out. Yeah.
Wow. So there you are. At the top, there's a total body immunity book, and you just click on it and you click another link and you download it. And this is the book that is the answer to the immune system. And what we say in the description, our immune system is the body's natural department of defense, working around the clock to fight off germs and protect our health. The old Pac-Man video game is a great visualization of the immune system, composed of various types of white blood cells that spring into action whenever germs and toxins threaten your health. One of the most important things in all types of diseases is that you have enough nutrient cofactors, The immune system is very complex and requires a lot of metabolic phases. All these phases need specific enzymes, and the enzymes require many cofactors. That's why magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin B complex, and zinc all have a role. We could also add the pico silver in there. The better you are with these, the more you can modulate your immune system in order to respond to any attack. Total body immunity is a wonderful resource for individuals and families, considering the role of the immune system in human health and the nutrition required to sustain it. So what have we got? We've got Remag for our magnesium. The vitamin C, we've got Whole C Reset, and we are coming out with an ascorbic acid powder that has a berry flavor that you will feel compelled to mix in with your other minerals to help with the taste. I just found it delicious when we were doing the testing phase. The vitamin B complex is our Realign. The Pico Zinc gives you your zinc. Pico Silver gives you your silver. And we have next week a vitamin D product coming out, our plant-based vitamin D3, 5,000 units, along with K2, 100 micrograms, so that if that D3 is pulling in extra calcium, that calcium is going to be directed to your bones and teeth with the vitamin K2. And I'm going off my anti-vitamin D persuasion or whatever, my stance, because I used to think vitamin D was not great because it would use up too much magnesium. But when we started collaborating with Grassroots Health, I realized that even my vitamin D was just rock bottom. So I realized we had to be more careful about talking about vitamin D, the fact that we require vitamin D, the fact that people who came down with COVID, they had low vitamin D. That's very important. So I just didn't want to be in a position where I was not recommending the right vitamin D or the right amount of vitamin D. You follow your blood levels. The optimum range of vitamin D is 40 to 60 for women with breast cancer who have a breast cancer history or have had breast cancer. You want to be over 60. So all these things we're learning and we're presenting to our customers. And let me just throw in as well, Ginny, our wonderful head of research, Dr. Taylor Wallace. He was on the show a while back, and he's doing a study with us out of Indiana, where we are looking at the statistics out of the Indiana hospitals on COVID patients to use some of the blood that they've stored or some of the statistics that they've documented to see whether these folks are low in vitamin D and magnesium and vitamin C and zinc. So that research is going to be very important because all medicine is looking at in terms of COVID patients is what drugs kill the virus. They're not even looking at what the status of nutrients is. We will have to look at other statistics and find out the nutrition and the nutrient levels in people who maybe get COVID but don't even know it, the people that aren't infected, what is keeping them safe. So all this research that we're doing is very important.
Carolyn, we've got a couple. Now. Yep. Let me do a couple phone calls for you too. Let's go to area code 248. 248, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Denise.
Oh, hey, Denise.
Hi, how you doing? I have a quick question. I have never had the Pico Silver. I'm about to put an order in. Do I just put it, when I start off, can I just add it in with the Remag and the Remite?
You said, Denise, you said Pico Silver?
Yeah, I never had that before, but I'm getting ready to put an order in for that.
Yes, it's tasteless. So that's the best tasting mineral we have.
Okay.
And yes, you can put it right in with your others. I mean, there might be a time, I'm kind of testing it myself right now, Denise. There might be a time when all the minerals together might sort of fall out a little bit. You might get a little precipitation. I have not seen that yet. What I do, because I'm taking, as most people are, the Pico Silver, the Pico Potassium, the Remag, and the Remite.
Okay.
I'm putting my daily amount in an empty 8-ounce bottle of the minerals. I'm putting a daily amount in for 7 days. You know, I do the math on how much will keep, how much I need for 7 days. And then, for example, I'm taking a tablespoon plus 2 teaspoons. So I'm taking 5 teaspoons of all these. So in the morning, when I make up my drink, I just put 5 teaspoons in, there, and that's my day. The only one we're not putting in the mix is Pico Zinc.
Okay.
Pico Zinc has it's got a pretty strong taste as far as I've found, but it also can cause a little bit of nausea if you take it straight without food.
All righty.
So that's the mineral combination in a nutshell.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Okay, hon. Thanks for calling.
Okay, be blessed.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, going out to area code 330. 330, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Yeah, my name is Priscilla, and I have a friend that asked me about her child has a genetic vitamin K deficiency, and I just would like to know what do you say on that? I mean, how can you supply the vitamin K?
Priscilla, that's too much of a medical question for me to answer. I don't know. I've never researched that or looked into it. I imagine the doctors are going to give the child vitamin K because it's important for blood clotting. Well, there is a vitamin K1 blood clotting. The vitamin K2 that we're talking about is mainly for bone metabolism and calcium balance. Okay, Priscilla, so that's as far as I can go with that question.
Okay, well, thank you. That's helpful. She just, the doctor did tell her what to take, but she wanted to go with something more natural, so I thought you might be able to help there. Right. I mean, she could look up, but if you've got to be careful if it's a K1 or a K2. And, you know, I don't know if, I don't know enough about the K1 to know if there's a natural versus a synthetic, but she just has to research that online or get in touch with a nutritionist. Okay, thank you. Okay, Priscilla, thanks for calling. Bye-bye. Bye. And over to Ginny, who's on mute.
Area code 352. 352?
Yes, that's me. I'm in Florida. This is Rhea. Hi. I have so many questions, but the main thing, main reason I'm calling is, and I've never heard this discussed. I have, and it's just bothering me so much tonight, I just had to call. I have itching on my stomach and my hip, like my hip bones area, the top of my thighs. And it's particularly bad in the evening and sometimes also in the mornings. And I know I have dry skin, so I keep, put coconut oil on and different essential oils. But is there anything else? I've sprayed Pico Silver on it, and it just itches. So is that a sign of yeast?
It is possibly, Rhea. How long have you had it?
For several months. I just keep struggling along with it because during the day it doesn't bother me hardly at all.
Right. So what did you do several months ago? How long have you been taking our products?
I've been taking your products, oh gosh, a good maybe 6 to 8 months. And I've got pretty much everything.
I missed that last sentence.
Oh, I said I've pretty much got all of the products. The only thing I don't take regularly is the Restructure because I don't know. I'm trying to get over post-herpetic neuralgia after having had shingles last December. And still got, my scalp is still paining me and itching and my ear itches, so I've got this itching thing going on, and maybe that's still part of it.
Okay, here's what comes to me. When you have had shingles, it can sort of set up your histamines so that your histamines are sort of on edge. They're sensitized and all the rest of it. So that can lead a person to feel itchy elsewhere. But the other thing is, oftentimes at the 4 to 6 month stage with people who take our products is that they start killing off yeast. It's like the immune system starts waking up. Even if it's just Remag, even if it's just the one product, Remag, at the 4 to 6 month stage, there's enough buildup in the immune system of the Remag to turn on the immune system and have it start attacking yeast. And so when you're killing off yeast, then the byproducts of yeast and the dying off of yeast produce this 178 different toxins that then the body, the immune system is dealing with, so they can come out on the skin and, on through the urine, through the intestines, the bowel movements can change. So there can be these two things going on. What we do then is, I've said a couple times through the show, I don't know if you heard it, is go to the yeast management, which is the Flora Revive and the oral Pico Silver. Myself, I have an itchy spot in my upper right back over my right shoulder blade. And
I have that too. I have that also.
Right. Now that's sort of a liver representation. But as soon as I started taking 2 teaspoons of Pico Silver a day, that went away. So I know it's a yeast. I know it's yeast. Or maybe it is like real subclinical shingles. I thought it was a bit of both. So, the worst is over, Rhea. You're in the right place.
Yeah.
You look at the book, Reset the Yeast Connection. Right at the beginning in the intro, I go right into the yeast management. So you just learn how much of the Pico Silver and the Flora Revive to take.
Okay, I'll read that. And I did contact Dr. Holt also a couple of weeks ago, and then I had the freebie thing, and then I paid for one session, and then all of a sudden I didn't respond properly, but he just kind of dumped me, and I dumped him, and I now dumped him because the doctor wants me to have a colonoscopy, and I don't want to have that. Again and again. I've had it so many times already, but
why does the doctor want you to have a colonoscopy?
Because, she said, simply even the fact that I told her that I have had this chronic diarrhea for, 20, 30 years, and I've had many colonoscopies, and they've never found anything. And I've been told that I could possibly have Crohn's, and they would only know if they did a colonoscopy. And she said that that's why I need to have a colonoscopy. And I'm 78, too old. I don't want it to. And I'm frail.
And it may be that one of the things about the Flora Revive is that it's been the Saccharomyces boulardii antifungal has been studied for people with chronic diarrhea and has been helpful. So it may be that that will be put everything together. I mean, it sounds like you've been through a lot, but let's keep in touch with you so that we can help you through this, because as I said, it sounds like yeast overgrowth, and it can be activation of your histamines, but Remag is an awesome antihistamine. So is our whole C reset. So there are many things that you can do with our products. Okay, Rhea? So
thank you so much.
Yeah, but you keep in touch with us. Julie at customer service would be the best person for you to
I've talked to her.
Work with. Okay, perfect.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, Rhea. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, very good, Carolyn. Yes, they come rushing in at the last minute. Oh, so much fun. So much fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, when we're just so thankful to have new customers and our new callers and our regular listeners, and everybody's finding their way to us, and had a great show tonight. Lots of great information, and we'll be back next week. And you are doing a webinar next week as well. So people would be wanting to watch for our emails about that. That's always fun when Dr. Carolyn Dean does a webinar. It's a very good, she's such a great teacher. Everybody just really benefits from that. So we'll be able to talk about that next week as well. So great show, Carolyn. You feeling good?
Oh, yeah, it's just wonderful. Yes, we do depend on people to call in because, I mean, I can, and I do, I speak usually through the whole first hour, but I don't know what you're experiencing. I mean, we can't answer all your questions unless you ask them. So we really do depend on folks calling in so that we can get a sense of what's going on. So thank you so much for the people that called in today. Go to Dr. Carolyn Dean Live and click on the books and look through them. We'll every week now we'll probably take a book in hand and discuss it a bit, because just to tell people to go there and read all the books, it might be overwhelming. We know that. So we'll go through the various books. The next one is Pico Silver. We have a Flora Revive book, Total Body Reset for Type 2 Diabetes. It goes on and on. So check out the books, ask us questions, and we will be here for you. The worst is over.
That's
Thank
exactly
you, Jenny.
right. Yeah, thank you,
Thank you,
Carolyn.
Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you very much.
listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.